She sings in clubs. She'll never perform at our level. End this embarrassment. Mrs. Ashworth had commanded 7 years ago the family's 50th annual charity gala. 500 guests in black tie. Mrs. Ashworth took the stage. Tonight's special performance is a world-renowned soprano who's performed for presidents and royalty. The curtain rose. Lydia stood in a $100,000 gown, more radiant than ever. Spencer's champagne glass shattered, but it got worse. In the VIP section, 3 children in formal wear waved at her. "Go, Mommy!" They were sitting right next to Spencer. He looked at them for the first time. Really looked. His face, his dimples, his eyes. He'd been sitting next to his own children for an hour without knowing. His wife followed his gaze. "Spencer, why do those children look like they could be yours?" But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Who are those children? Caroline's fingernails dig into Spencer's arm. Her voice is quiet, but sharp. Spencer cannot answer. He cannot breathe. He stares at the 3 children standing at the table next to him. The boy has Spencer's face. The girls have Spencer's green eyes. All 3 children have his dimples. "Spencer, answer me. Who are those children?" Spencer's mouth opens, but no words come out. On stage, the woman in the silver gown begins to sing. Her voice fills the enormous ballroom of the Grand Boston Hotel. Spencer knows that voice. He has not heard it in 7 years, but he knows it. The voice belongs to Lydia Bennet. 4 hours earlier, Spencer sat in the back seat of a black car. Caroline sat beside him. Neither of them spoke. The car drove through downtown Boston toward the Grand Boston Hotel. Spencer wore a black tuxedo. Caroline wore a dark blue evening gown. They had been married for 3 years. They lived in a large house in Beacon Hill. They slept in separate bedrooms. They barely spoke to each other. The driver stopped in front of the hotel entrance. Spencer opened the door and stepped out. Caroline followed. They walked through the glass doors without holding hands. A doorman in a red uniform said, "Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Ashworth." Spencer nodded. Caroline smiled a cold smile. They walked into the ballroom. Over 500 people filled the room. Round tables covered in white tablecloths sat everywhere. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Men wore tuxedos. Women wore expensive gowns and diamond jewelry. This was the 50th annual Ashworth Family Charity Gala. Spencer's family hosted this event every year. Spencer had attended this party every year since he was a child. He hated it. Spencer and Carolyn walked to the VIP table near the stage. Name cards marked their seats. Spencer sat down. Caroline sat beside him. She immediately pulled out her phone and started typing messages to someone. Spencer did not ask who. He did not care. A waiter brought champagne. Spencer took a glass. He drank it quickly. Another waiter brought a second glass. Spencer drank that one too. Caroline did not look up from her phone. Around them, wealthy guests talked and laughed. Spencer recognized most of them. Business partners, family friends, people who cared about money and reputation, and nothing else. Spencer looked at his watch. It was 7:15. The event would last at least 4 more hours. 4 hours of sitting next to his wife, who was not really his wife. 4 hours of fake smiles and empty conversations. Spencer ordered whiskey from the bar. He needed something stronger than champagne. "You are drinking a lot tonight?" Caroline finally looked up from her phone. Her voice was flat. She was not concerned. She was just making an observation. "Yes," Spencer said. "Try not to embarrass yourself in front of everyone." Caroline went back to her phone. Spencer drank his whiskey. He thought about the last time he felt happy. It was 7 years ago. He was 28 years old. He met a woman named Lydia Bennett at a jazz club in downtown Boston. She was singing on a small stage. Her voice was beautiful. After her performance, Spencer talked to her at the bar. She was funny. She was smart. She was real. Spencer fell in love with her. For 6 months, Spencer and Lydia were together. Spencer took her to restaurants. They walked through Boston Common holding hands. She sang for him in her small apartment. Spencer thought about asking her to marry him. Then Spencer's mother found out about Lydia. Victoria Ashworth called Spencer to her office. She sat behind her desk wearing a cream suit and pearls. She said, "I heard you are seeing a jazz singer from South Boston. Is this true?" Spencer said, "Yes, her name is Lydia Bennett." Victoria's face was cold. What does her family do? Her father was a mechanic. Her mother was a nurse. They died in a car accident. So she has no family, no money, no education. She is studying at a community college. She is very talented. Victoria leaned forward. "Spencer, you are an Ashworth. You cannot marry a waitress who sings in bars. Think about our family reputation. Think about your future. This girl is not suitable for you." Spencer wanted to say no. He wanted to defend Lydia. He wanted to tell his mother that Lydia was the best person he ever met. But Spencer was weak. He was afraid of disappointing his mother. He was afraid of being cut off from his family's money. He was afraid of standing alone. Spencer broke up with Lydia through a text message. The message said, "This is not working. I think we should stop seeing each other. Please do not contact me again." Then Spencer blocked Lydia's number. He blocked her email. He never spoke to her again. 2 weeks later, Spencer's mother introduced him to Carolyn Patterson. Caroline came from another wealthy Boston family. Victoria said, "Caroline would make a perfect wife for you. Her family owns property all over New England. This would be a very good match." Spencer and Caroline dated for 6 months. Neither of them loved each other. They both knew it. But their parents wanted the marriage, so they got married. That was 3 years ago. Spencer finished his whiskey. A waiter brought him another glass. On stage, Victoria Ashworth walked to the microphone. She wore a cream-colored dress and pearls. She always wore pearls. The room went quiet. "Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to our 50th annual charity gala." Everyone applauded. Victoria smiled her practiced smile. "Tonight, we have a very special surprise. We have a performer who has sung at the Metropolitan Opera in New York. She has performed in San Francisco and Chicago. She is one of the finest sopranos in America. Please welcome Lydia Bennett." Spencer's whiskey glass slipped from his hand. It hit the table and spilled everywhere. Caroline looked at him. Spencer did not notice. He stared at the stage. The lights went dark. The curtain opened. A woman walked onto the stage wearing a silver gown and diamond jewelry. Her long black hair fell down her back. She was more beautiful than Spencer remembered. It was Lydia. Spencer's heart pounded in his chest. He could not breathe. Lydia walked to the center of the stage. She looked calm. She looked confident. She looked successful. The orchestra began to play. Lydia opened her mouth and started to sing. Her voice was even more beautiful than 7 years ago. It filled the entire ballroom. Every person in the room stopped talking. Everyone listened. Spencer sat frozen in his chair. He had not seen Lydia in 7 years. He blocked her completely out of his life. Now she was standing 20 feet away from him, singing like an angel. Then 3 children at the table next to Spencer jumped out of their seats. They were young, maybe 6 years old, 2 girls and 1 boy. They wore formal clothes. They shouted together, "Go, Mommy! We love you!" Spencer turned and looked at the children for the first time. The boy had dark brown hair and green eyes. His face shape was exactly like Spencer's face shape. The 2 girls had long hair and green eyes. One girl had brown hair. The other had dark, curly hair. Both girls had dimples in their cheeks. Spencer had dimples in his cheeks. Spencer stared at the boy. It was like looking in a mirror. The boy had Spencer's nose, Spencer's jawline, Spencer's exact face. Spencer looked at the girls. They had Spencer's green eyes, Spencer's dimples, Spencer's smile. The truth hit Spencer like a truck. These were his children, Lydia's children, his and Lydia's children. 3 children, triplets. They were about 6 years old. 7 years ago, Spencer broke up with Lydia and blocked her. She must have been pregnant. She tried to tell him. She called him 47 times. He blocked her. She tried to email him. He blocked her. She tried to visit his office. Security turned her away. She gave up. She had his babies alone. She raised them alone for 6 years. Spencer has been sitting 5 feet away from his own son and daughters for the past hour. He did not know they existed. Caroline grabbed Spencer's arm hard. Her face was white. She looked at the children. She looked at Lydia on stage. She looked back at Spencer. She whispered, "Who are those children?" Spencer could not speak. His entire world was breaking apart. Around them, 500 people watched Lydia sing. Nobody else noticed Spencer's panic. Nobody else saw his face. Nobody else knew that everything in Spencer's life just changed forever. Lydia's voice soared through the ballroom. The children sat back down at their table, smiling and proud of their mother. The boy adjusted his glasses. One girl whispered something to her sister. They looked happy. They looked loved. They looked like they had a good life. A life Spencer was never part of. Caroline's grip on his arm tightened. "Spencer, answer me right now. Who are those children?" Spencer finally found his voice. It came out as a whisper. "I think they are mine." Caroline's face went from white to red. Her hand dropped from his arm. She stared at him. "What?" "The boy looks exactly like me. The girls have my eyes, my dimples." "That is not possible. Lydia and I were together 7 years ago. I broke up with her. I blocked her number. She must have been pregnant. She tried to tell me. I never answered." Caroline stood up fast. Her chair scraped against the floor. Several people at nearby tables turned to look. Caroline leaned down close to Spencer's face. Her voice shook with anger. "You have 3 children with another woman, and you never told me?" "I did not know. I swear, I did not know." "You did not know? How could you not know?" "I blocked her before she could tell me." On stage, Lydia finished her song. The entire ballroom erupted in applause. Everyone stood up. Lydia smiled and bowed. She looked happy. She looked strong. She looked nothing like the girl Spencer left 7 years ago. She had built an entire life without him. A successful career. 3 beautiful children. She did not need Spencer. She never needed Spencer. The lights came back on. People started talking again. Caroline sat back down. Her hands were shaking. She said, "Everyone saw you staring at those children. Everyone saw your face. Do you understand what this means?" Spencer did not answer. He watched Lydia walk off the stage. The 3 children ran toward the backstage door. A woman sitting at their table stood up and followed them. Spencer stood up too. "Where are you going?" Caroline hissed. "I need to talk to her." "Spencer, sit down. You are making a scene." Spencer did not sit down. He walked toward the stage. His legs felt weak. His heart pounded. He pushed through groups of people in expensive clothes. They smiled at him and tried to shake his hand. Spencer ignored them all. He reached the backstage door. A security guard in a black suit stepped in front of him. "Sorry, sir. No one goes backstage. I need to speak with Lydia Bennett. It is important." "Miss Bennett is not taking visitors." Spencer looked through the small window in the door. He saw Lydia kneeling on the floor. The 3 children were hugging her. She was laughing. She kissed each of their foreheads. They looked like a perfect family. A family Spencer was never part of. A family he did not even know existed. Until 20 minutes ago. Spencer's entire life just fell apart in front of 500 people. And the night was not over yet. The security guard's hand stayed firm on Spencer's chest. Through the window, Spencer watched Lydia stand up and take her children's hands. She started walking toward the back exit. "Lydia!" Spencer called out. His voice was loud. Several guests near the stage turned to look at him. The security guard said, "Sir, I need you to step back." Spencer pushed the door open. The guard grabbed his arm, but Spencer pulled free. He walked into the backstage area. It was a narrow hallway with white walls and bright lights. Lydia stopped walking. She did not turn around. Her back was straight. Her hand held tight to one of the girl's hands. "Lydia, please. I need to talk to you." Lydia turned around slowly. Her face showed nothing. No anger, no sadness. Nothing. The 3 children looked up at Spencer with curious eyes. Up close, Spencer could see every detail. The boy wore small glasses. He looked exactly like Spencer's childhood photos. One girl had a blue bow in her brown hair, the other girl had curly dark hair like Lydia's. Both girls had Spencer's green eyes. "About what?" Lydia's voice was calm and cold. Spencer looked at the children. He looked back at Lydia. "About them. About the children. These are my children. They have nothing to do with you." "Lydia, I can see—" "You can see what, Spencer? You can see 3 children. That is all you can see. You have no idea who they are. You were not there when they were born. You were not there when they learned to walk. You were not there for any of it." One of the girls tugged on Lydia's hand. "Mommy? Who is this man?" Lydia knelt down. She touched the girl's face gently. "This is someone I used to know a long time ago. We are leaving now." She stood up and looked at Spencer once-mortem. "You have no children, Spencer. You made that choice 7 years ago when you blocked my calls. Do not come near my family." "I did not know. You have to believe me. I did not know you were pregnant." "That is not my problem. You blocked me before I could tell you. You made your choice. Now live with it." Lydia walked toward the back exit. The boy looked back at Spencer over his shoulder. Spencer wanted to say something. He wanted to run after them, but his legs would not move. The door closed. They were gone. The security guard put his hand on Spencer's shoulder. "Sir, you need to leave this area." Spencer walked back into the ballroom. The party was still going. People drank champagne and talked and laughed. A band played music. Nobody knew that Spencer's entire world just ended. He walked back to the VIP table. Caroline was not there. Her purse was gone. Her phone was gone. Spencer sat down in his chair. His hands were shaking. "Spencer?" He looked up. Caroline stood behind him. Her face was red with anger. "We are leaving, now." "Caroline, Now, Spencer, get up." Spencer stood. They walked through the ballroom together. People watched them. Someone whispered something. Caroline's face stayed straight ahead. They walked out the front entrance. The black car was waiting. They got in the back seat. The driver started driving. Neither of them spoke for 5 minutes. Then Caroline turned to face him. "Everyone saw you run after that woman. Everyone saw you staring at those children. You made me look like a fool in front of 500 people. I am sorry. I did not plan this." "Did not plan what? Having 3 children with your ex-girlfriend?" "I told you, I did not know." "How is that possible? How do you not know you have 3 children?" Spencer put his head in his hands. 7 years ago, I was dating Lydia. My mother told me she was not good enough for our family. She said Lydia would embarrass the Ashworth name. I was weak. I listened to her. I broke up with Lydia through a text message. Then I blocked her number. I blocked her email. I never spoke to her again. Caroline stared at him. "She tried to tell you she was pregnant, did she not?" Spencer nodded slowly. "She probably did. I do not know. I blocked her before she could reach me." "So you have 3 children who are 6 years old. You have been their father for 6 years, and you never knew." "Yes," Caroline laughed. It was not a happy laugh. It was a cold, angry laugh. "This is unbelievable. I married a man who abandoned his pregnant girlfriend and blocked her calls. Do you understand how this makes me look? Do you understand what people will say?" "Caroline, I did not know about the children. If I had known, if you had known what? You would have been responsible? You would have done the right thing? Spencer, you blocked her. You made sure she could not tell you. You did not want to know." The car stopped in front of their house in Beacon Hill. Caroline opened the door and got out. Spencer followed her. They walked inside. Caroline went straight to the bedroom. Spencer heard her opening drawers and pulling out clothes. He stood in the hallway. "What are you doing?" Caroline came out of the bedroom carrying a suitcase. "I am leaving. I am going to stay at my parents' house tonight. Tomorrow I am calling my lawyer." "You want a divorce?" "Yes, I want a divorce." Spencer sat down on the stairs. "I understand." Caroline stopped walking. She looked at him. "You understand? That is all you have to say?" "What do you want me to say? We both know this marriage is not real. We do not love each other. We never did. Our parents arranged this marriage for business reasons. We have been living like strangers for 3 years." Caroline's eyes filled with tears, but she was not crying because she loved Spencer. She was crying because she was angry and humiliated. "You are right. I do not love you. I never loved you. But I did not deserve this. I did not deserve to find out in front of 500 people that my husband has 3 children with another woman. I know. I am sorry." Caroline walked to the front door. She stopped and looked back at him. Those children looked happy. They looked loved. That woman raised them without your help, without your money, without your family name. She did it all alone. I hope you realize what you lost. She walked out and closed the door behind her. Spencer sat on the stairs in the empty house for a long time. The house was big and silent. He and Caroline had lived here for 3 years, but it never felt like a home. It felt like a museum. Expensive furniture, expensive art. Everything cold and perfect and empty. Spencer's phone buzzed. It was a text message from his mother. "Come to my office tomorrow morning at 9. We need to discuss tonight's situation." Spencer did not reply. He went upstairs to his bedroom. He did not sleep. He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. He thought about Lydia. He thought about the 3 children, the boy with his face, the girls with his eyes. They were 6 years old. 6 years. Spencer missed everything. Their first words, their first steps, their first day of school. He was their father, and they did not even know his name. At 3 in the morning, Spencer got out of bed. He went to his office and opened his laptop. He searched for Lydia Bennet opera singer. Results filled the screen. There were articles, reviews, interviews, photos of Lydia on stage at the Metropolitan Opera. She wore beautiful costumes. She looked powerful and confident. Spencer clicked on an article. The headline said, "Lydia Bennet, from waitress to opera star." He read the entire article. It said Lydia worked as a waitress in Brooklyn while studying vocal performance at a community college. It said she raised 3 children alone. It said she auditioned for the Metropolitan Opera 3 years ago. The director heard her sing one aria and offered her a contract immediately. Now she performed all over the country. She made over $300,000 per year. Spencer stared at the screen. Lydia did not need his money. She built her career through hard work and talent. She raised 3 children by herself. She went from a waitress in Brooklyn to an opera star at the Metropolitan Opera. She did everything without him. Spencer found more articles. He found photos of the children. One photo showed all 3 kids at Lydia's opera performance in San Francisco. They wore formal clothes and smiled at the camera. The caption said, "Soprano Lydia Bennet with her children Emma, Sophia, and James." Emma, Sophia, James. Spencer now knew their names. Emma had brown hair, Sophia had curly dark hair. James wore glasses and had Spencer's exact face. Spencer stared at the photo of his son. James looked smart and happy. He looked loved. Lydia gave him a good life, a life Spencer was never part of. The sun started to rise outside the window. Spencer had not slept at all. His phone buzzed again. Another message from Victoria. "Do not forget, my office at 9. Spencer looked at the message. For the first time in his life, he felt real anger toward his mother. 7 years ago, she told him Lydia was not good enough for their family. She convinced him to break up with Lydia. She pushed him to marry Carolyn. Everything Spencer did, he did because his mother told him to, and now he had 3 children who did not know him. Spencer closed his laptop and went to take a shower. In 4 hours, he would go to his mother's office. She would tell him what to do. She would make a plan to control the situation. She would try to protect the Ashworth family reputation. But Spencer was done following his mother's orders. Spencer arrived at his mother's office building in Cambridge at 8:45 in the morning. He had not slept. His eyes burned. His suit felt heavy on his shoulders. The building was tall and modern with glass walls. Victoria Ashworth owned the entire top floor. Spencer took the elevator to the 10th floor. The doors opened. Victoria's assistant sat at a desk in the waiting area. "Good morning, Mr. Ashworth. Your mother is expecting you." Spencer walked past the assistant without responding. He opened the door to Victoria's office. She sat behind a large wooden desk. She wore a beige suit and pearls. She always wore pearls. The office had floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked the city. Everything in the room was expensive and cold. Victoria looked up from her computer. "Close the door." Spencer closed the door and sat down in the chair across from her desk. "We need to talk about last night," Victoria said. Her voice was calm but firm. "That was a disaster." "Yes, it was." "People are already talking. I received 7 phone calls this morning. Everyone wants to know about those children." Spencer said nothing. He stared at his mother's face. She looked concerned, but not about the children. She was concerned about the family reputation. "We need to make a plan," Victoria continued. "That woman will probably contact you asking for money. You need to be prepared. Her name is Lydia, and she does not need my money." Victoria raised one eyebrow. "Everyone needs money, Spencer, especially single mothers with 3 children. Spencer pulled out his phone. He opened the articles he found last night. He turned the phone around and showed his mother the screen. "Read this." Victoria took the phone. She read silently for a minute. Her face showed surprise. She handed the phone back to Spencer. "She is an opera singer. Not just an opera singer. She performs at the Metropolitan Opera. She makes over $300,000 per year. She owns her own apartment in Manhattan. The children go to a private school. She does not need my money. She built her entire life without me." Victoria leaned back in her chair. "This changes nothing. You still need to deny that those children are yours. We can tell people that she is lying to damage our reputation." Spencer stared at his mother. "Mother, those children have my face. Everyone at the gala saw it. I cannot deny the truth." "Then you need to offer her money to stay quiet. Pay her to keep those children away from our family events. Pay her to sign an agreement that says she will never speak publicly about this." Something inside Spencer broke. He felt heat rise in his chest. His hands gripped the arms of the chair. "Those children are my responsibility. I will not pay their mother to hide them." Victoria's face hardened. "You will do what I tell you to do. I am trying to protect this family." Spencer stood up. His legs felt shaky, but his voice was steady. "You are trying to protect our reputation. That is not the same thing. Sit down, Spencer." "No." Victoria's eyes went wide. Spencer had never said no to her before. Never in his entire life. "What did you say?" "I said no. I am not sitting down. I am not denying my children. I am not paying Lydia to hide them. Those children exist because of me. They are my responsibility." Victoria stood up. Her face turned red. "Those children exist because that woman trapped you. She probably got pregnant on purpose to get access to our family money." Spencer's anger exploded. His voice got loud. "Stop calling her that woman. Her name is Lydia, and she did not trap me. I was there too. I made those children with her. Then I abandoned her when she needed me. I blocked her calls. I blocked her emails. I made sure she could not reach me. This is my fault, not hers. Lower your voice." "No, I am done lowering my voice. I am done doing what you tell me to do. You told me 7 years ago that Lydia was not good enough for our family. You said a singer from a working-class background would embarrass the Ashworth name. I listened to you. I broke up with her. I married Caroline even though I did not love her. I wasted 7 years of my life trying to make you happy. And what do I have? An empty marriage, an empty house, an empty life, and 3 children who do not even know my name." Victoria walked around the desk. She stood in front of Spencer. "You are being emotional and foolish. Think about what you are saying." "I have thought about it. All night. Those children are 6 years old. I missed their entire lives. I was not there when they were born. I was not there for their first words or their first steps. I was not there because I was a coward. I chose comfort and family approval over doing the right thing. That ends now. If you acknowledge those children publicly, there will be consequences. Then there will be consequences." Spencer walked to the door. Victoria's voice stopped him. "Spencer, if you walk out of this office, our relationship will change. I will not support this decision." Spencer turned around. "Our relationship changed last night when I realized you taught me to care more about our last name than about being a good person. You were wrong, and I was wrong for listening to you." He walked out. Victoria's assistant looked up in surprise as Spencer passed her desk. Spencer got in the elevator. His hands were still shaking. He had never spoken to his mother that way. Never. The elevator doors closed. Spencer felt scared, but also free. Spencer drove to downtown Boston. He parked his car and walked into a small office building. He took the stairs to the 3rd floor. A sign on the door said, "Robert Chen Private Investigations." Spencer knocked. A voice inside said, "Come in." Spencer opened the door. The office was small, with one desk and two chairs. A man in his 40s sat at the desk. He had short black hair and wore a simple button-down shirt. This was Robert Chen. He used to be a police detective. Now he worked as a private investigator for wealthy clients. "How can I help you?" Robert asked. Spencer sat down. "I need information about someone, about her life, about what happened after I left her." "Who is this person?" "Her name is Lydia Bennett. She lives in New York. She is an opera singer. She has 3 children. They are my children. I just found out last night that they exist." Robert studied Spencer's face. "You want me to investigate the mother of your children?" "I want to know what her life was like after I left her 7 years ago. I need to know what happened. I need to know the truth." "Are you sure you want to know?" "Sometimes the truth is hard to hear." "I need to know." Robert opened a drawer and pulled out a contract. "I charge $200 per hour plus expenses. Most investigations take between 20 and 40 hours. I will need a retainer of $5,000. Spencer pulled out his wallet. He wrote a check and handed it to Robert. "How long will this take?" "1 week, maybe 2. I will call you when I have information." "Thank you." Spencer left the office. He went home to his empty house. Caroline's things were gone. Half the closets were empty. The house felt even bigger and colder without her there. Spencer sat at the kitchen table. He did not know what to do. He could not work. He could not eat. He could not think about anything except Lydia and the children. 1 week passed. Spencer went to his office at the family investment firm, but he could not focus. He sat in meetings and did not hear what people said. He looked at financial reports and did not see the numbers. His phone rang constantly. His mother called 6 times. He did not answer. His cousins called, asking what happened at the gala. He did not answer them either. On the 7th day, Robert Chen called. "I have your report. Can you come to my office?" "I will be there in 20 minutes." Spencer drove to Robert's office. His heart beat fast. He walked up the stairs and opened the door. Robert sat at his desk with a thick folder in front of him. "Sit down," Robert said. Spencer sat. Robert pushed the folder across the desk. "This is everything. Financial records, timeline, photos, medical records. I found a lot of information." Spencer opened the folder. The first page was a timeline. It started 7 years ago on the exact date Spencer blocked Lydia's number. Spencer read slowly. His hands started to shake. The report said Lydia tried to call Spencer 47 times in 2 weeks. He blocked her number. She tried to email him 8 times. He blocked her email. She went to his office building 3 times. Security would not let her in. She gave up. She was 8 weeks pregnant with triplets. Spencer turned the page. The report showed Lydia's bank records. On the day Spencer blocked her, she had $1,200 in her bank account. 2 weeks later, she had $800. She bought a bus ticket to New York City. She rented a small apartment in Brooklyn for $900 per month. Spencer kept reading. The report showed employment records. Lydia worked at a diner called Mary's Kitchen as a waitress. She worked breakfast and lunch shifts 6 days per week. She made minimum wage plus tips. At night, she sang at a piano bar in Manhattan. She made $50 per night. On Sundays, she attended classes at a community college studying vocal performance. The report showed medical records. Lydia gave birth to triplets at Brooklyn Methodist Hospital on March 15th, 7 years ago. 2 girls and 1 boy. Emma Rose Bennett, Sophia Marie Bennett, James Alexander Bennett. No father's name listed on the birth certificates. Lydia was alone during the delivery. No family present. No friends present. Just Lydia and 3 babies. Spencer's vision blurred. Tears filled his eyes. He kept reading. For 3 years, Lydia worked 3 jobs. Waitress during the day, singer at night, student on weekends. She slept 4 hours per night. She saved every dollar. She sent audition tapes to opera companies across America. Most of them never responded. Some sent rejection letters. Then 3 years ago, the Metropolitan Opera invited her to audition in person. She borrowed money from her neighbor to pay for a babysitter. She took a bus from Brooklyn to Manhattan. She wore a dress she bought at a thrift store for $12. She sang an aria from La Traviata. The director offered her a contract that same day. Spencer closed the folder. Tears ran down his face. He was crying. He could not stop. Robert sat quietly across the desk. "She did everything alone," Spencer said. His voice broke. "She had nobody, no family, no money, 3 babies, and she survived." "Yes," Robert said quietly. "I destroyed her life, and she survived anyway." Spencer put his head in his hands. He cried for the first time in years. He cried for Lydia. He cried for his children. He cried for all the years he lost. Robert stood up and got a box of tissues from a shelf. He put it on the desk in front of Spencer. "What do I do now?" Spencer asked. "That is not my job to answer, but if you want my opinion, you start by taking responsibility. You cannot change the past, but you can change what you do next." Spencer wiped his eyes. He picked up the folder and stood. "Thank you for this. Good luck." Spencer left the office holding the folder. He got in his car but did not start the engine. He sat in the parking lot reading the report again. Every page was proof of his failure. Every document showed what Lydia survived. Every photo showed the children he never met. Spencer did not know if Lydia would ever forgive him. He did not know if she would ever let him near their children. But he knew one thing. He had to try. He had to find a way to apologize. He had to take responsibility for what he did. Even if Lydia never spoke to him again. Spencer started the car and drove home. The folder sat on the passenger seat. When he got to his house in Beacon Hill, he went straight to his office. He turned on his computer and searched for Lydia's contact information. He found her management company's website. There was a phone number for booking inquiries. Spencer called the number. A woman answered. "Metropolitan Artists Management. How may I help you?" "I need to speak with Lydia Bennett. This is personal." "Miss Bennett does not take personal calls. If you would like to book her for a performance, please send an email to our booking department. This is not about booking. I need to speak with her about a private matter." "I am sorry, sir. I cannot help you with that. Please, this is urgent. My name is Spencer Ashworth. She knows me." The assistant paused. "Please hold." Spencer waited. Music played through the phone. After 2 minutes, the assistant came back. "Miss Bennett is not available. Please do not call this number again for personal matters." The line went dead. Spencer stared at his phone. He called back. The same assistant answered. "Metropolitan Artists Management." "This is Spencer Ashworth again. I really need to—" The assistant hung up. Spencer called 3 more times. Each time the assistant hung up as soon as she heard his voice. Spencer sent an email to the booking address on the website. The email bounced back immediately with an automatic reply. "This address only accepts emails from verified booking agents." Lydia had blocked him again. 7 years ago, he blocked her. Now she blocked him. Spencer put his phone down. He could not reach her. She built walls around herself and her children. Walls Spencer could not break through. Spencer went to the kitchen. He opened the refrigerator. It was almost empty. Caroline used to buy groceries. Spencer never thought about food. He closed the refrigerator and sat at the kitchen table. The house was silent. Too silent. The next day, Spencer came home from work and found half the closets empty. Caroline's clothes were gone, her shoes were gone, her jewelry was gone. Spencer walked through the house. The guest bedroom looked the same. The living room looked the same. But Caroline's personal things were missing. On the kitchen table, there was a note. Spencer picked it up. The note was short. It said, "My lawyer will contact your lawyer. Do not try to reach me. Caroline." Spencer sat down and read the note again. His wife left without saying goodbye in person. They lived together for 3 years, and she left a note. Spencer was not sad. He was not angry. He felt nothing. Their marriage was never real. They were two strangers living in the same house because their parents told them to. Spencer's phone rang. It was his mother. He ignored the call. She called again 5 minutes later. He ignored that call too. Then she sent a text message. "Family meeting tomorrow evening at 6 at my house. Everyone will be there. Do not miss it." Spencer did not want to go, but he knew his mother would keep calling if he did not. The next evening, he drove to Victoria's mansion in Cambridge. The house was enormous, 3 stories with white columns in front. Spencer grew up in this house. He hated it. Spencer parked his car and walked to the front door. He rang the bell. Victoria's housekeeper opened the door. "Good evening, Mr. Ashworth. Everyone is in the living room." Spencer walked through the entrance hall. The house smelled like expensive flowers and furniture polish. Everything was perfect and cold. He entered the living room. Victoria sat in a chair near the fireplace. 4 of Spencer's cousins sat on the couches. They all turned to look at him when he walked in. "Spencer, sit down," Victoria said. Spencer remained standing. "What is this about?" "We need to discuss the situation from the gala, as a family." Spencer's cousin Michael spoke up. "Everyone is talking about it, Spencer. People are asking questions." Another cousin, Jennifer, said, "We need to know what you are going to say publicly." Victoria stood up. She walked to the fireplace and turned to face everyone. "Our family is facing a difficult situation. Spencer has 3 children with a woman outside his marriage. This could damage our reputation if we do not handle it correctly." Michael asked, "What do you want us to do?" Victoria looked at each person in the room. "We need to present a united front. If anyone asks about the children, we say Spencer is handling a private matter. We do not confirm or deny anything. We do not give details. We protect the family name." Spencer felt heat rise in his chest. "I am not denying my children exist." The room went quiet. Everyone stared at Spencer. Victoria's face hardened. "Sit down, Spencer. We need to discuss this calmly." "No, I am not sitting down." Victoria's eyes narrowed. "Excuse me? I said no. Those children are mine. I saw their faces. Everyone at the gala saw their faces. I am not going to hide them. I am not going to deny they exist. They are my son and daughters." Jennifer said, "Spencer, think about what you are saying. Think about the family." "I spent my whole life thinking about the family. It cost me everything that mattered. I am done living that way." Victoria took a step toward Spencer. "You are being emotional and foolish. Those children have been fine without you for 6 years. They do not need you now. That woman clearly does not want you in her life. Let it go. Move on. Protect your future." Spencer's voice got louder. "Those children are my future. They are my responsibility. I do not care what people say. I do not care about our reputation. I care about doing the right thing. The right thing is protecting this family's name. No, The right thing is taking responsibility for my children. You do not get to decide this. None of you do." Victoria's face turned red. "If you acknowledge those children publicly, there will be consequences. Your position at the firm will be reviewed. Your trust fund will be reconsidered. Your place in this family will change." Spencer looked at his mother. He felt sad for her. She only cared about control and reputation. She did not understand love or responsibility. She never would. "Then there will be consequences. I accept that." Spencer walked out of the living room. His cousins watched him leave in silence. He heard Victoria call his name, but he did not stop. He walked out the front door and got in his car. His hands shook as he started the engine. He had just cut ties with his entire family, but he felt lighter. The next morning, Spencer made an appointment with a lawyer. Not his family's lawyer, a different lawyer, someone who worked with family law. The lawyer's name was David Park. His office was in downtown Boston. Spencer arrived at 10 in the morning. David Park was in his 50s with gray hair and glasses. He wore a simple suit. His office was small but professional. David shook Spencer's hand and they both sat down. "Thank you for seeing me," Spencer said. "Of course. You said on the phone this is about a family matter." "Yes. I just found out I have 3 children. They are 6 years old. I did not know they existed until 1 week ago." David picked up a pen and notepad. "Tell me everything." Spencer told the whole story. He told David about Lydia, about how he broke up with her and blocked her number 7 years ago, about seeing her and the children at the gala, about the private investigator's report. David listened carefully and took notes. When Spencer finished talking, David put down his pen. "This is complicated," David said. "You have legal rights as the father, but you also have responsibilities. The first step is establishing paternity. You need to take a DNA test. The mother needs to agree to this." "She will not agree. She does not want me in her life." "Then you have 2 options. You can file a petition with the court to establish paternity. The court can order DNA testing, or you can try to reach an agreement with the mother directly." Spencer shook his head. "I do not want to force anything through the courts. I do not want to make this a legal battle. I just want to do the right thing." "What does the right thing mean to you?" "I want to take financial responsibility. I want to set up trust funds for each child. I want to pay for their education. I want to pay child support. I want to do everything I should have done 7 years ago." David wrote more notes. "That is admirable. But the mother needs to agree. You cannot just send money without her consent. You need to communicate with her. Does she have a lawyer?" "I do not know. Probably." "Find out. We need to contact her lawyer if she has one. If she does not, we can send a formal letter explaining your intentions." "But Spencer, I need to be honest with you. If she does not want your involvement, this will be very difficult. She raised these children alone for 6 years. She might not trust you. She might not want your money. She has every right to refuse." "I know, but I have to try." David nodded. "I will draw up the papers. I will prepare a proposal for trust funds and child support. But you need to find a way to reach her. Without her cooperation, we cannot move forward." Spencer left David's office. He sat in his car in the parking lot. He could not call Lydia. He could not email her. She blocked him completely. He did not know where she lived in New York. He did not know her lawyer's name. He had no way to reach her. Spencer drove home. For 2 weeks, he went to work. He came home. He sat in his empty house. Caroline's divorce lawyer sent papers. Spencer signed them without reading them carefully. David called and said, "You should negotiate. She is asking for half of your assets." Spencer said, "Give her whatever she wants. I do not care." "Spencer, this is millions of dollars." "I know. She wasted 3 years of her life on a marriage neither of us wanted. She deserves something for that. David filed the papers. The divorce moved forward quickly. Spencer and Caroline divided their assets. Caroline got the house in Beacon Hill. Spencer moved into a small one-bedroom apartment near downtown Boston. The apartment had 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, a kitchen, and a living room. It was smaller than his walk-in closet in the old house, but Spencer did not care. The apartment felt honest. It felt real. It was his space, not his mother's, not his family's. His. 2 months passed. Spencer heard nothing from Lydia. He started to accept that she would never respond. She built her life without him. She did not need him. She did not want him. He would have to live with that. Then, one afternoon in March, Spencer's phone rang. Unknown number. He almost did not answer, but something made him pick up. "Hello?" A woman's voice spoke. "This is Lydia." Spencer's heart stopped. Spencer could not speak. His mouth was dry. His hands started shaking. He sat down on his couch. "Lydia," he finally said. His voice came out as a whisper. "I received your letter," Lydia said. Her voice was calm but not warm. "My lawyer gave it to me 3 weeks ago." "You did not respond?" "No, I needed time to think about what you wrote. I also received the trust fund documents, the legal papers about child support." Spencer waited. He did not know what to say. Lydia continued talking. "I do not want your money, Spencer. It is not about what you want. It is about what our children deserve. They are my responsibility. I should have been helping all along." Lydia was quiet for a moment. Spencer heard noise in the background. Children laughing, a television playing. Lydia said something to someone, but her hand covered the phone. Then she came back. "Emma keeps asking about you," Lydia said. Spencer's heart beat faster. "What does she ask?" "She asks about the man with green eyes who looks like James. She saw you at the gala. She remembers your face. I told her you are someone I used to know a long time ago. She asked if she could meet you." Spencer closed his eyes. Tears came, but he did not let them fall. "I would like that. I would like that more than anything. I am not doing this for you, Spencer. I need you to understand that. I am doing this for them. They deserve to know where they come from. They deserve to know their father, even if their father was not there for the first 6 years of their lives." "I understand. But there are rules. You will follow my rules. You will not show up once and then disappear again. If you start this, you finish it. If you meet them, you commit to being part of their lives. I will not let you hurt them the way you hurt me. Do you understand?" "Yes, I understand. I will never leave them. I promise." "Do not make promises you cannot keep." "I can keep this one. I know I failed you 7 years ago. I was weak and afraid. I chose my mother's approval over doing the right thing. I cannot change that. But I can change who I am now. I want to be part of their lives. I want to be their father. Not for me. For them." Lydia was quiet again. Spencer heard her breathing on the other end of the phone. Finally, she spoke. "We will meet in Boston next Saturday. The public garden near the pond. 10 in the morning. Come alone. Do not bring gifts. Do not try to impress them with expensive things. Just show up. I will be there. If you are even 1 minute late, we leave. If you miss this meeting, there will not be another one. I will be there, I promise. We will see." Lydia hung up. Spencer sat, holding his phone. He stared at the screen. Lydia called him. After 2 months of silence, she called him. Emma wanted to meet him. His daughter wanted to meet him. Spencer looked at the calendar on his wall. Today was Monday. He had 6 days to prepare for the most important meeting of his life. Spencer went to work the next morning, but he could not focus. He sat at his desk and stared at the computer screen. Numbers and reports meant nothing. His assistant came to his office at 11 and said, "You have a meeting with the investment team in 5 minutes." Spencer looked up. "Cancel it." "Cancel it? This meeting has been scheduled for 3 weeks." "Cancel all my meetings for the rest of the week. Tell them I have a family emergency." The assistant looked worried, but she nodded. "Yes, sir." Spencer left the office at noon. He drove to a bookstore in downtown Boston. He went to the children's section. He did not know what 6-year-old children liked. He did not know what they read or what they played with. He stood in the aisle feeling lost. A woman who worked at the store walked over. She was young with short red hair. "Can I help you find something? I need books for 6-year-olds. I do not know what they like." "Are these for your children?" Spencer hesitated. Then he said, "Yes, they are for my children. I am meeting them for the first time this weekend." The woman smiled kindly. She did not ask questions. 6-year-olds usually like picture books and early chapter books. Does the child like animals? Adventure? Fantasy? "I do not know. There are 3 of them, 2 girls and 1 boy." The woman helped Spencer pick out books. She showed him books about space, books about art, books about music, books with strong characters and happy endings. Spencer bought 10 books. Then he stopped himself. Lydia said not to bring gifts. He put the books back. "I cannot bring these," Spencer said. "I was told not to bring gifts." The woman nodded. "Then maybe just bring yourself. That is the best gift." Spencer left the bookstore empty-handed. He went to a coffee shop and sat by the window. He watched people walk past. Parents holding their children's hands. Fathers carrying kids on their shoulders. Spencer missed 6 years of that. He would never get those years back. That night, Spencer could not sleep. He lay in bed thinking about what to say. How do you introduce yourself to your own children? What do you say to a 6-year-old when you are meeting them for the first time? Spencer did not know. He had no experience with children. He never spent time with kids. He did not have younger siblings or cousins he was close to. Wednesday morning, Spencer called David Park. David answered on the second ring. "Spencer, what can I do for you?" "I am meeting my children on Saturday. Lydia agreed to let me meet them." "That is good news. Very good news." "I do not know what to say to them. I do not know how to act around children." David was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Just be honest. Children understand honesty better than adults do. Tell them the truth. Answer their questions. Do not try to be someone you are not. What if they hate me? They might. You have to accept that possibility. You were not there when they needed you. They might be angry. They might not want anything to do with you. But you still have to try." Spencer thanked David and hung up. He spent the rest of Wednesday cleaning his apartment. He wanted it to look nice, even though the children would not see it. He just needed something to do with his hands. Thursday, Spencer went to his barber and got a haircut. He went to the store and bought simple clothes. Jeans, a plain blue shirt. Nothing expensive or fancy. He did not want to look like he was trying too hard. Friday night, Spencer packed a bag. Then he unpacked it. Lydia said to come alone. She said not to bring gifts. He did not need a bag. He put the bag away. He made dinner but could not eat it. His stomach felt tight. He was terrified. Saturday morning arrived. Spencer woke up at 5. He could not sleep anymore. He took a shower. He got dressed. He looked at himself in the mirror. He looked tired. His eyes had dark circles under them. But his shirt was clean. His hair was neat. He looked normal. Not rich, not poor. just normal. Spencer left his apartment at 8. The meeting was at 10, but he wanted to be early. He could not risk being late. Traffic, car problems, anything could happen. He drove to the public garden and parked his car. It was 8:30 in the morning. Spencer walked to the pond. The garden was beautiful, trees everywhere, flowers blooming, families walking on the paths. Spencer sat on a bench near the pond. He watched ducks swim in the water. He waited. At 9, more people arrived. Parents with strollers, kids riding bikes, an old man feeding the ducks. Spencer stayed on his bench. He did not move. His heart beat faster with every passing minute. At 9:30, Spencer saw a woman walking toward him. She had long black hair. She wore jeans and a white shirt. 3 children walked beside her. 2 girls and 1 boy. They wore casual clothes, bright colors, comfortable shoes. It was Lydia. It was Emma, Sophia, and James. Spencer stood up. His legs felt weak. Lydia saw him and stopped walking. She said something to the children. They all looked at Spencer. Spencer raised his hand in a small wave. The children did not wave back. They just stared at him with curious eyes. Lydia walked forward. The children followed her. Spencer's hands were shaking. He put them in his pockets. Lydia stopped 5 feet away from him. "You are early," she said. "I could not risk being late." Lydia studied his face. She looked for something. Maybe she was trying to see if he really changed. Maybe she was looking for the weak man who abandoned her 7 years ago. Spencer did not know. "Emma, Sophia, James," Lydia said. "This is Spencer. He is an old friend of mine." The 3 children said, "Hello," at the same time. Their voices were small and polite. Spencer's throat felt tight. He managed to say, "Hello, thank you for meeting me." The little boy, James, pushed his glasses up his nose. He stared at Spencer's face. One of the girls, Emma, had brown hair in a ponytail. The other girl, Sophia, had dark curly hair. All 3 of them had Spencer's green eyes. "Let us sit," Lydia said. They walked to the grass near the pond. Lydia sat down. The children sat next to her. Spencer sat across from them. Nobody spoke for a moment. Spencer did not know what to say. He looked at Lydia. She nodded slightly. It meant, "Go ahead." Spencer took a breath. He looked at the 3 children. His children. He said, "I am glad to meet you. I have wanted to meet you for a long time." Emma tilted her head. "Mommy says you knew her a long time ago." "Yes, we met 7 years ago, before you were born." Sophia asked, "Why did we never meet you before?" Spencer looked at Lydia again. She nodded. She was letting him tell the truth. Spencer chose his words carefully. "Because I made a big mistake. I stopped talking to your mother when I should have stayed. I was afraid of what other people would think. I made the wrong choice." James spoke for the first time. His voice was quiet but clear. "What were you afraid of?" Spencer looked at his son. James had Spencer's exact face. It was like looking at a photo of himself as a child. "I was afraid of disappointing my family. I was afraid of doing something they would not approve of. Those were bad reasons. I should have been braver." The children listened carefully. They did not interrupt. They just watched Spencer with serious faces. Emma said, "Mommy says you look like James." Spencer smiled a little. "I think James looks like me. Or maybe we both look the same." James stared at Spencer. He took off his glasses and cleaned them on his shirt. Then he put them back on. "We do look the same. We have the same nose, the same chin." Sophia said, "You have green eyes like us." Emma leaned forward. "And you have dimples like us. I can see them when you smile." Spencer nodded. His chest felt tight. "Yes, we look alike because we are related." The words hung in the air. The children looked at each other. Then James asked the question Spencer knew was coming. "Are you our father?" Spencer looked at Lydia. She gave him a small nod. Permission to tell the truth. Spencer looked back at James, at Emma, at Sophia. 3 pairs of green eyes stared at him, waiting. "Yes," Spencer said. "I am your father." Nobody spoke. The children looked at each other. Then Emma asked, "Why were you not there when we were born?" The question hit Spencer hard. His chest hurt. He took a breath. "Because I did not know you existed. Your mother tried to tell me, but I stopped answering her calls before she could. That was my fault, not hers. If I had known about you, I would have been there." James pushed his glasses up again. "Would you really?" Spencer wanted to say yes. He wanted to promise that he would have been there. But that would be a lie. 7 years ago, Spencer was weak. He probably would have run away, even if he knew about the babies. "I do not know," Spencer said honestly. 7 years ago, I was not a good person. I was weak and afraid. I let other people make my decisions for me. I probably would have failed you then, too. But I am trying to be better now. I am trying to do the right thing." Sophia looked at her mother. "Mommy, did he know about us?" Lydia spoke gently. "No, sweetheart. I tried to tell him, but he had already stopped talking to me. He did not know about you until he saw you at my performance." Emma's eyes got wide. "At the big hotel? When you sang and everyone clapped?" "Yes, that night." James turned back to Spencer. "You saw us? And you knew we were yours?" "Yes, you look just like me. All 3 of you have my eyes, my face. As soon as I saw you, I knew." Sophia asked, "Do you want to be our father now?" Spencer's throat felt tight. "I want to be part of your life if you will let me. But I understand if you do not want that. I am a stranger to you. I was not there when you needed me. You have every right to be angry at me." The children were quiet. They looked at each other again. Emma whispered something to Sophia. James stared at the pond. Spencer waited. His heart beat so fast he could hear it in his ears. Finally, Emma spoke. "I have a piano recital next week, at my school. Can you come?" Spencer's eyes filled with tears. He blinked them away. "I will be there, I promise." "Do you promise? Or just regular promise?" "I promise. I will be there." "What day is it?" Emma looked at Lydia. Lydia said, "Next Friday at 6 in the evening, at the Parker School in Manhattan." Spencer pulled out his phone. He opened his calendar. He typed in the information. "Friday at 6, Parker School. I will be there." Sophia said, "I have an art show too, in 3 weeks. Will you come to that?" "Yes, I will come to that too. Tell me when and where." James said, "I have a math competition in May. It is on a Saturday morning. I will come to that too. I want to come to everything, if you will let me." The children looked at their mother. Lydia's face was hard to read. She was not smiling, but she was not frowning either. She said, "If you miss even one event, this is over. Do you understand? They need consistency. They need someone who shows up, not someone who makes promises and breaks them." "I understand. I will show up. I will not miss anything." Lydia stood up. "It is time for us to go. We have lunch plans." The children stood up too. Spencer stood quickly. He did not want them to leave. He just met them. He wanted more time, but he knew he could not push. He had to follow Lydia's rules. "Thank you," Spencer said. "Thank you for letting me meet them. Thank you for giving me a chance." Lydia looked at him for a long moment. "I am not giving you a chance, Spencer. I am giving them a chance to know their father. Do not confuse the two things." "I understand." Emma waved at Spencer. "Bye, Spencer." Sophia waved too. "Bye." James did not wave. He just stared at Spencer's face. Then he turned and walked away with his mother and sisters. Spencer watched them walk across the park. Emma skipped. Sophia held Lydia's hand. James walked slowly, looking back at Spencer twice. Then they were gone. Spencer sat back down on the grass. His hands were still shaking. He just met his children. He talked to them. They asked him questions. Emma invited him to her piano recital. Sophia invited him to her art show. James told him about his math competition. They did not hug him. They did not call him Dad. But they talked to him. That was more than Spencer hoped for. Spencer stayed in the park for another hour. He watched families walk past. Parents pushing strollers. Fathers playing catch with their sons. Mothers braiding their daughters' hair. Spencer missed 6 years of that. He would never get it back. But maybe, if he worked hard enough, he could be part of the next 6 years. The next 16 years. The rest of their lives. Spencer drove home to his apartment. He made lunch, but could not eat it. He was too nervous, too excited, too scared. Friday was 6 days away. Emma's piano recital. Spencer had never been to a piano recital. He did not know what to wear or where to sit or what to do. But he would figure it out. He had to. The next week moved slowly. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Spencer went to work, but he could barely focus. Thursday, he left work early. He drove to a store and bought a simple black suit. Not expensive, not cheap, just normal. He did not want to stand out. He wanted to blend in with the other parents. Friday arrived. Spencer left Boston at 2 in the afternoon. The drive to New York took 4 hours. Spencer arrived in Manhattan at 6 exactly. He found the Parker School on the east side. It was a small private school with a brick building. Spencer parked his car and walked inside. The school hallway was full of parents and children. Everyone talked and laughed. Spencer felt out of place. He did not know anyone. He walked to the auditorium. The door was open. Inside, rows of chairs faced a small stage. A piano sat in the center of the stage. Parents filled the seats. Spencer walked to the back row and sat down. At 6:15, the lights dimmed. A woman walked onto the stage. She wore a gray dress. She spoke into a microphone. "Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming to our spring piano recital. We have 12 students performing tonight. Please hold your applause until the end." The first student walked onto the stage, a little boy in a blue shirt. He sat at the piano and played. Spencer did not know the song. The boy made several mistakes, but kept playing. His parents clapped when he finished. The second student performed, then the third, then the fourth. Spencer watched each one. He looked for Emma. Finally, after the seventh student finished, the woman announced, "Next we have Emma Bennett playing Mozart's Piano Sonata No. 16. Spencer sat up straight. Emma walked onto the stage. She wore a white dress. Her brown hair was pulled back. She looked small on the big stage. She sat at the piano. She put her hands on the keys. She took a breath. Then she started playing. The music filled the room. Emma's fingers moved across the keys. She did not look at the sheet music. She played from memory. The song was beautiful, clear, and precise. Emma did not make any mistakes. She played perfectly. Spencer watched his daughter play piano. His daughter, Emma. She was talented. She was confident. She was amazing. Spencer felt proud. He had no right to feel proud. He did not teach her to play. He did not help her practice. He was not there for any of it. But he felt proud anyway. Emma finished playing. She stood up and bowed. Everyone clapped. Spencer clapped too. His hands hurt from clapping so hard. Emma looked at the audience. Her eyes searched the rows of people. She was looking for someone. Then she saw Spencer in the back row. Her face lit up. She smiled and waved. Spencer waved back. His vision blurred with tears. He blinked them away. Emma walked off the stage. 5 more students performed after her. Spencer watched them all, but he was not really paying attention. He kept thinking about Emma's smile. She saw him. She waved at him. She was happy he came. After the recital ended, parents and students gathered in the hallway. Spencer did not know if he should stay or leave. He stood near the wall, unsure. Then he saw Lydia walking toward him. Emma, Sophia, and James walked beside her. "You came," Emma said. She was still wearing her white dress. "I told you I would. You were in the back. I saw you. I did not want to sit too close. I did not want to make you nervous." Emma smiled. "I was not nervous. I practiced every day for 3 weeks. You played beautifully. You did not make any mistakes." "I made one mistake. In measure 32, but nobody noticed." Spencer smiled. "I did not notice." Lydia stood a few feet away. She held Sophia's hand. James stood next to her, watching Spencer carefully. Lydia said, "We need to go. The kids have school tomorrow." Spencer nodded. "Thank you for telling me about the recital. Thank you for letting me come." Emma said, "Will you come to Sophia's art show?" "Yes, I will be there." Sophia spoke up. "It is on April 23rd at 3 in the afternoon at our school." Spencer pulled out his phone. He typed the information into his calendar. April 23rd at 3. "I will be there, I promise." Lydia said, "Let us go, kids. Say goodbye." Emma waved. "Bye, Spencer." Sophia waved. "Bye?" James did not wave, but he said, "You really came. I said I would. Will you really come to my math competition too?" "Yes, I will be there." "When is it?" "May 14th. It starts at 9 in the morning. At my school." Spencer typed that into his calendar too. "May 14th at 9. I will be there." James nodded slowly. Then he turned and walked away with his mother and sisters. Spencer watched them leave. He stayed in the hallway until they were gone. Then he walked to his car. He sat in the driver's seat for a long time before starting the engine. Spencer drove back to Boston. The drive took 4 hours. He arrived at his apartment at midnight. He was exhausted, but he was happy. He went to Emma's recital. He kept his promise. Emma waved at him. She smiled at him. James asked if he would really come to the math competition. Sophia told him about her art show. They were starting to trust him, just a little bit. Spencer knew he had a long way to go, but this was a start. Spencer woke up the next morning feeling different, lighter. He had something to look forward to. Sophia's art show was in 2 weeks. James's math competition was in 6 weeks. Spencer marked both dates on every calendar he owned. His phone calendar, the paper calendar in his kitchen, the calendar at work. He could not afford to forget. At work on Monday, Spencer's assistant came to his office. "You have been traveling to New York a lot. Is everything okay?" Spencer looked up from his computer. "Yes, family matters." "Good family matters or bad family matters?" Spencer smiled. It was the first real smile he had given anyone at work in months. "Good family matters." The assistant smiled back and left. Spencer returned to his work, but his mind kept wandering. He thought about Emma playing piano, about Sophia's art show coming up, about James's math competition. He wondered what they were doing right now. Were they at school? Were they eating lunch? Were they thinking about him? 2 weeks passed. April 23rd arrived. Spencer left Boston at 11 in the morning. He wanted to arrive early. The drive to New York took 4 hours. He arrived at the Parker School at 2:30. The art show started at 3. Spencer walked into the school. Signs pointed to the gymnasium. He followed them. Inside the gym, tables were set up around the room. Children's artwork hung on the walls and sat on the tables. Paintings, drawings, clay sculptures. Parents walked around looking at everything. Spencer searched for Sophia's work. He walked past tables with name cards. Finally, he found a table with a card that said, Sophia Bennett, Grade 1. On the table sat 5 paintings. All of them were bright and colorful. One painting showed a garden with red flowers. Another showed a city with tall buildings. Another showed the ocean with boats. The paintings were good. Really good. Spencer stood looking at Sophia's paintings when he heard a voice behind him. You came. He turned around. Sophia stood there, wearing a yellow dress. Her curly dark hair was pulled back with a headband. She smiled at him. I told you I would, Spencer said. Do you like my paintings? They are beautiful. I like this one with the garden. The flowers look real. Sophia's smile got bigger. That is my favorite too. Mommy helped me pick the colors. Lydia walked over. She wore jeans and a black shirt. Emma and James walked beside her. Emma said, Hi, Spencer. Hi, Emma. Hi, James. James nodded, but did not say anything. He looked at Spencer with careful eyes. Sophia grabbed Spencer's hand. Her hand was so small. Come see my friend Maya's paintings. She is really good too. Sophia pulled Spencer across the gym. She showed him her friend's artwork. She introduced Spencer to her friend. This is Spencer. He is my dad. Spencer's heart stopped. Sophia called him her dad, not to his face, but to her friend. She told someone he was her dad. Spencer could barely breathe. They walked around the gym for 30 minutes. Sophia showed Spencer every piece of art. She talked about her favorite paintings. She explained how she made her clay sculpture. Spencer listened to every word. When it was time to go, Sophia hugged him. It was quick, just a small hug. But it was the first time one of his children hugged him. Thank you for coming, Sophia said. Thank you for showing me your art. You are very talented. Lydia walked over with Emma and James. We need to leave now. Will you come to my math competition? James asked. He still did not smile, but he asked the question. That meant something. Yes, May 14th at 9 in the morning. I have it marked on my calendar. James nodded. Then he said, It is important to me. I have been practicing for 2 months. I will be there, I promise. The family left. Spencer stayed for a few more minutes looking at Sophia's paintings. Then he walked to his car. On the drive back to Boston, he kept thinking about Sophia's small hand holding his, about her calling him her dad, about James asking him to come to his competition and saying it was important. 6 weeks passed. Spencer went to work. He came home. He counted the days until May 14th. Finally, the day arrived. Spencer left Boston at 5 in the morning. He needed to be at the Parker School by 9. He could not be late. Spencer arrived at 8:30. The math competition was in the school cafeteria. Tables were set up with math problems on them. Children sat at the tables with pencils and paper. Parents sat in chairs along the wall. Spencer found a seat in the back row. At 9 exactly, a teacher stood up and explained the rules. Each student will have 1 hour to solve as many problems as they can. The student with the most correct answers wins first place. Parents, please remain quiet during the competition. The competition started. 20 children bent over their papers and started writing. Spencer searched for James. He found him at a table near the front. James wore a blue shirt and his glasses. He looked serious and focused. His pencil moved quickly across the paper. Spencer watched his son solve math problems for 1 hour. James never looked up. He never stopped writing. When the teacher said, "Time is up," James put down his pencil. He took off his glasses and cleaned them on his shirt. Then he put them back on and sat quietly. The teachers collected all the papers. They said, "We will grade these now. Please wait. This will take about 30 minutes." Parents and children talked quietly. James sat alone at his table. He did not talk to anyone. He just waited. After 30 minutes, the teacher returned. She held a piece of paper. "We have the results. In third place, with 47 correct answers, is Sarah Chen." Everyone clapped. A girl walked to the front and received a bronze medal. In second place, with 51 correct answers, is James Bennett. Spencer's heart jumped. James stood up. He walked to the front of the cafeteria. He looked calm. The teacher gave him a silver medal. Everyone clapped. James looked at the audience. He found Spencer in the back row. Spencer gave him a thumbs up. James almost smiled. Almost. After the ceremony ended, James walked over to Spencer. He held his silver medal in his hand. "You came," James said. "I told you I would. Congratulations. Second place is amazing." James looked at his medal. "I should have been faster on the last 3 problems. I would have won first place." "You did great. 51 correct answers out of 60 problems. That is incredible." "You think so?" "I know so. You are very smart, James." James looked up at Spencer. His green eyes were exactly like Spencer's. "Will you keep coming to my competitions? I have another one in September." "Yes, I will come to all of them. Tell me when they are, and I will be there." Lydia walked over with Emma and Sophia. Emma said, "James is the smartest kid in our class. He is always the smartest." Sophia said, "I told my art teacher about you. She said you should come to Parent Day." "When is Parent Day?" "Next month, June 9th. Spencer typed it into his phone. "I will be there." Lydia looked at Spencer. Her face was unreadable. She said, "The kids need to eat lunch now. We are going to a restaurant nearby." Spencer nodded. "Okay. Thank you for letting me come today." James surprised everyone. He said, "Do you want to come to lunch with us?" Everyone went quiet. Emma and Sophia stared at their brother. Lydia stared at James. James looked at Spencer and waited for an answer. Spencer looked at Lydia. "Only if it is okay with your mother." Lydia hesitated. She looked at her 3 children. They all looked at her with hopeful faces. Finally, she said, "Okay, you can come, but we are only staying for 1 hour. The kids have homework." They went to a small Italian restaurant 2 blocks from the school. Spencer followed Lydia's car in his own car. Inside the restaurant, they sat at a round table. James sat next to Spencer. Emma sat on Spencer's other side. Sophia sat next to Lydia. They ordered food: pizza for the kids, salad for Lydia, pasta for Spencer. While they waited for the food, Emma talked about her piano teacher. Sophia talked about her art class. James talked about his robotics club at school. Spencer listened to everything. He asked questions. He learned that Emma wanted to be a professional pianist. Sophia wanted to be an artist. James wanted to be an engineer. The food arrived. They ate together. Spencer watched his children eat pizza and laugh. They told jokes. They teased each other. They were happy. Lydia watched Spencer watching the children. She did not say much, but she did not tell him to leave either. After lunch, they walked outside. The sun was shining. It was a warm day in May. James said, "Thank you for coming to my competition. Thank you for inviting me to lunch." Emma said, "Will you come to my next piano recital? It is in June." "Yes. Tell me when." "June 17th at 7 at night." Spencer typed it into his phone. "I will be there." They said goodbye. Spencer watched them walk to Lydia's car. James turned around and waved. It was the first time James waved at him. Spencer waved back. Spencer drove back to Boston. The drive felt shorter this time. He thought about lunch, about sitting at a table with his children, about James asking him to come, about Emma talking to him, about Sophia smiling at him. They were starting to accept him. Slowly, carefully. But they were accepting him. 3 months passed. Spencer went to every event. Emma's piano recital in June, Sophia's parent day in June, James's robotics demonstration in July, a small birthday party for the triplets in July when they turned 7 years old. Spencer showed up to everything. He never missed once. At the birthday party, Lydia pulled Spencer aside. They stood in the kitchen while the children played in the living room. "You have been showing up," Lydia said. "I told you I would. People say things all the time. It does not mean they follow through, but you have been consistent. The kids talk about you. They ask when you are coming next." Spencer felt his throat get tight. "They do?" "Yes. Emma shows you off to her piano teacher. Sophia tells her art class about you. James told his robotics team you are his father." "I did not know that." Lydia crossed her arms. She looked tired but not angry. "I am telling you this because the kids want you to come to Thanksgiving dinner at my apartment in November. I told them I would ask you, so I am asking. Do you want to come?" Spencer could not believe what he was hearing. "You want me at Thanksgiving?" "I did not say I want you there. I said the kids want you there. There is a difference." "Yes, I want to come, if you are sure." "I am sure. But Spencer, if you come to Thanksgiving, you are part of this family. Not my partner, not my boyfriend, but their father. Do you understand what that means?" "I think so. It means you do not get to leave anymore. It means you commit, fully. Are you ready for that?" Spencer looked at Lydia. She was giving him a chance. A real chance. Not just to attend events, but to be part of their family. "Yes," Spencer said. "I am ready." Lydia walked back to the living room where the children were opening birthday presents. Spencer stayed in the kitchen for a moment. Thanksgiving. Lydia invited him to Thanksgiving with their children. 6 months ago, his children did not know he existed. Now they wanted him at their Thanksgiving dinner. The months between July and November passed quickly. Spencer continued going to New York twice a week. He went to every school event, every piano lesson, every art class, every robotics meeting. He helped James build a robot for his science class. He sat through Emma's 2-hour piano practice sessions. He went to the art supply store with Sophia to buy paint. In September, James had another math competition. He won first place. When the teacher announced his name, James looked at Spencer in the audience. Spencer stood up and clapped louder than anyone else. After the ceremony, James walked over to Spencer, holding his gold medal. "I won," James said. His voice was proud but quiet. "You did amazing. I am so proud of you." James looked at the medal in his hand. Then he looked at Spencer. "Can I call you Dad?" Spencer stopped breathing. The world stopped moving. "What? Can I call you Dad instead of Spencer?" Tears filled Spencer's eyes. He did not try to hide them. "Yes, you can call me Dad if you want to. I want to. You show up for everything. You help me with my homework. You come to all my competitions. That is what dads do." Spencer knelt down so he was at James's eye level. "Thank you. That means more to me than anything in the world." James hugged Spencer. It was not a quick hug. It was a real hug. Spencer hugged him back. When they separated, James said, "I am going to tell Emma and Sophia. Maybe they will want to call you Dad too." 2 weeks later, Emma called Spencer Dad for the first time. She did it casually without thinking. They were at her piano lesson. Emma made a mistake on a difficult section. Her teacher corrected her. Emma tried again and played it perfectly. She turned to Spencer, sitting in the back of the room, and said, "Did you hear that, Dad? I got it right." Spencer's throat got tight. He managed to say, "I heard. You did great." After the lesson, Emma said, "I called you Dad. Is that okay?" "That is more than okay. You can call me whatever you feel comfortable with." Sophia wants to call you Dad, too, but she is shy about it. 1 month later, at Sophia's art show in October, Sophia introduced Spencer to her art teacher. "This is my dad. He comes to all my shows." It was the first time Sophia called him Dad to his face. Spencer had to excuse himself and go to the bathroom because he started crying. Now it was November. Thanksgiving was in 3 days. Spencer drove to New York on Thanksgiving morning. He brought nothing with him. Lydia said not to bring gifts or food, just himself. Spencer parked outside Lydia's apartment building in Manhattan. The building was nice, but not fancy. Middle class, comfortable. Spencer walked to the 4th floor and knocked on apartment 4B. Emma opened the door. She wore an orange dress. "Dad, you are here. I told you I would come." Spencer walked inside. The apartment was warm and bright. It smelled like turkey and bread. Pictures of the children covered the walls. Their artwork hung everywhere. This was a real home. Not cold and empty like Spencer's childhood home. Not empty like the house he shared with Caroline. This was a home full of love. Sophia ran over and hugged Spencer. "Happy Thanksgiving!" James walked out of his bedroom. "Hi, Dad." "Hi, James. Happy Thanksgiving." Lydia came out of the kitchen. She wore jeans and a red sweater. Her hair was pulled back. She looked tired but happy. "Dinner will be ready in 1 hour. Make yourself comfortable." Spencer sat on the couch. James sat next to him. Emma sat on his other side. Sophia sat on the floor near his feet. They all watched a movie together. It was an animated film about a family of superheroes. The children laughed. Spencer watched them more than he watched the movie. These were his children. They called him Dad. They wanted him here. At 6 in the evening, Lydia called everyone to the table. The table was small, but there was enough room for 5 people. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, green beans, bread. Everything looked delicious. They sat down. Lydia at one end, Spencer at the other end. Emma, Sophia, and James on the sides. Lydia said, "Before we eat, let us each say one thing we are thankful for. I will start. I am thankful for my 3 beautiful, healthy children." Emma? Emma said, "I am thankful for my piano teacher. She is helping me get better." Sophia said, "I am thankful for art class and for my new paint set." James said, "I am thankful for my robotics team and for Dad helping me build my robot." Everyone looked at Spencer. His turn. Spencer looked at each face around the table. His children. The woman who raised them alone. The family he almost lost forever. "I am thankful for second chances," Spencer said. His voice was thick with emotion. "I am thankful that Lydia gave me the chance to know our children. I am thankful that Emma, Sophia, and James let me into their lives. I do not deserve any of this, but I am thankful for it every single day." The room was quiet. Then Lydia said, "Let us eat." They ate dinner together. The children talked about school, about their friends, about their plans for winter break. Spencer listened and laughed and asked questions. After dinner, they ate pumpkin pie. Then James asked Spencer to read him a book. "Which book?" Spencer asked. "The one about space. It is in my room." Spencer followed James to his bedroom. The room was small but organized. Books on shelves, a desk with homework papers, posters of planets on the walls. James handed Spencer a book about the solar system. Spencer sat on the bed. James sat next to him. Spencer started reading. After a few minutes, Emma came in and sat on the other side. Then Sophia came in and sat on the floor. Spencer read to all three children. When he finished the book, Emma said, "Read another one." Spencer read 3 more books. By the end, Sophia had climbed onto the bed. All 3 children were leaning against Spencer, warm and comfortable and safe. Lydia stood in the doorway watching. She did not say anything, but her face was soft. After the children went to bed, Spencer helped Lydia clean the kitchen. They washed dishes in silence for a few minutes. Then Lydia spoke. "You kept your promises," she said. "When you said you would show up, I did not believe you. I thought you would come to 1 or 2 events and then disappear. But you showed up for everything. Every single thing. I told you I would. People say a lot of things, Spencer. You actually did what you said. The kids love you. They trust you. That is not something I thought would ever happen." Spencer dried a plate. "I love them too, more than I knew I could love anything." Lydia looked at him. "I will never take you back. You know that, right? We will never be together romantically. That door is closed forever." "I know." "Good, as long as we are clear." "We are clear. I am not here for you, Lydia. I am here for them. You have every right to never forgive me. I do not expect you to, but I will keep showing up for our children. For the rest of my life." Lydia nodded. "That is all I needed to hear." Spencer left the apartment at 10 that night. He drove back to Boston. The drive felt long and lonely, but Spencer was happy. He spent Thanksgiving with his children. They sat around a table together. They ate together. They laughed together. James called him Dad. Emma called him Dad. Sophia called him Dad. 2 weeks later, Spencer's phone rang. It was his mother. Spencer had not spoken to Victoria in 6 months. He almost did not answer, but something made him pick up. "Hello, Mother." "Spencer, I am hosting a family dinner tomorrow evening at 6. I expect you to be there." "I do not think that is a good idea. I am not asking. I am telling you. This family needs to discuss several business matters. You need to be present." Spencer sighed. "Fine, I will come, but I will not stay long. 6 sharp. Do not be late." The next evening, Spencer drove to his mother's mansion in Cambridge. He had not been there since the family meeting 6 months ago. The house looked the same. Cold and perfect. And huge. Spencer parked his car and walked to the front door. The housekeeper let him in. "Everyone is in the dining room, Mr. Ashworth." Spencer walked to the dining room. The table was set for 8 people. Victoria sat at the head of the table. Spencer's 4 cousins sat on the sides. 2 empty chairs remained. Spencer sat in one. Nobody spoke to him. Everyone looked uncomfortable. At exactly 6, Victoria stood up. She wore a black dress and pearls. Always pearls. She looked at everyone at the table. "Thank you for coming. We have important matters to discuss. The family business is expanding. We need everyone's cooperation and commitment. That includes you, Spencer." Spencer said nothing. A maid brought food, soup, salad, roasted chicken, vegetables, expensive wine. Everyone ate in silence. Halfway through the meal, Victoria spoke again. "Spencer, I heard you have been spending time with those children." Spencer put down his fork. "Their names are Emma, Sophia, and James. And yes, I have been spending time with them. They are my children. People are talking. They say you go to New York twice a week. They say you attend school events. This is becoming a public spectacle. I do not care what people say. Victoria's face hardened. You should care. These kinds of arrangements need to be handled privately, quietly. You do not parade your mistakes in public. Something inside Spencer snapped. He had been holding his anger for 6 months. Now it exploded. He stood up. His chair scraped against the floor. Everyone at the table stopped eating. Those children are not mistakes, Spencer said. His voice was loud and sharp. They are my son and daughters. They are smart and kind and amazing. I am proud to be their father. Victoria stood up too. Lower your voice. You are making a scene. No, I am done being quiet. I am done following your rules. You told me 7 years ago that Lydia was not good enough for our family. You said a singer from South Boston would embarrass us. You were wrong. Lydia worked 3 jobs to raise our children. She became a successful opera singer through pure talent and hard work. She is a better person than anyone at this table, including me, including you. Victoria's face turned red. How dare you? I am not finished. You taught me that our last name was more important than being a good person. You taught me to care about money and reputation instead of love and responsibility. I listened to you. I abandoned Lydia when she needed me. I missed 6 years of my children's lives because I was too afraid to disappoint you. That was the biggest mistake of my life. Spencer looked at his cousins. They all stared at him in shock. He looked back at his mother. I am done living my life according to your rules. I am done trying to make you proud. I am done pretending that this family's reputation matters more than my children. You can judge me. You can cut me off. You can do whatever you want. But I will not hide my children. I will not deny they exist. They are the best thing that ever happened to me. Victoria's hands shook. If you walk out of this house, do not expect to come back. I will remove you from my will. You will get nothing. Spencer picked up his coat. Good. I do not want your money. I do not want anything from you. He walked out of the dining room, out of the mansion, into his car. He drove away and did not look back. His hands shook. His heart pounded. But he felt free. For the first time in his life, he stood up to his mother. He chose his children over his family's approval. He chose love over money. He chose right over easy. Spencer drove to his apartment. His phone rang 5 times, his mother calling. He did not answer. She left voicemails. He deleted them without listening. That part of his life was over. Victoria Ashworth no longer controlled him. She lost her son. And it was her own fault. Spencer arrived at his apartment and sat on his couch. His phone buzzed again. Another call from his mother. He turned the phone off completely. He sat in silence for a long time. He just cut ties with his entire family. His mother, his cousins, the Ashworth family business, everything he grew up with, gone. But Spencer did not feel sad. He felt free. For 35 years, he lived according to his mother's rules. He made choices to please her. He abandoned the woman he loved because Victoria told him to. He married a woman he did not love because Victoria arranged it. All of that ended tonight. Spencer chose his children. He chose to be their father. Nothing else mattered. The next morning, Spencer went to work. His assistant came to his office at 9. Your mother called 4 times already this morning. She said it is urgent. Do not put her calls through. If she calls again, tell her I am unavailable. The assistant looked surprised, but nodded. Yes, sir. Spencer's mother called 6 more times that day. Spencer ignored every call. She sent emails. Spencer deleted them without reading them. After 1 week, the calls stopped. Victoria finally understood. Spencer was done. He would not come back. 2 weeks later, Spencer received a letter from Victoria's lawyer. The letter said Victoria was removing Spencer from her will. Spencer would inherit nothing. All of Victoria's money and property would go to Spencer's cousins. Spencer read the letter once and threw it away. He did not care about his mother's money. He had his own money. More importantly, he had his children. Spencer continued going to New York twice a week, sometimes 3 times. He went to every parent-teacher conference with Lydia. In January, they met with Emma's teacher. The teacher said, "Emma is one of my best students. She is talented at piano and works very hard. She is kind to other students. You should be very proud." Spencer and Lydia thanked the teacher. They met with Sophia's teacher next. Sophia is very creative. Her artwork is advanced for her age. She has a gift. Then they met with James's teacher. James is exceptional at mathematics and science. He thinks differently than other students. He solves problems in creative ways. I recommend advanced classes next year. After all 3 conferences, Spencer and Lydia walked to the parking lot. Lydia said, "The teachers love them. They are good kids. You raised them well. You did an amazing job." Lydia stopped walking. She looked at Spencer. "I did not do it alone anymore. You have been showing up for over a year now. The kids are happier because of it. I can see the difference. Thank you for letting me be part of their lives. You earned it." In February, James came to Spencer with a request. Spencer was at Lydia's apartment helping with homework. James walked over, holding a paper. "Dad, I need help with my science project." "What is your project about?" "Solar energy. I need to build a model solar panel that actually works. I do not know how to do it." Spencer looked at the paper. He did not know anything about solar energy either. "I do not know how to build a solar panel, but we can learn together." They spent the next 3 weekends working on the project. They watched videos online. They read instructions. They bought materials at the hardware store. They made mistakes and started over. Spencer had never built anything in his life. He grew up with people who did things for him. But now he was learning. With his son. Together. When the solar panel was finally finished, James tested it outside. He connected a small light bulb. The sun hit the panel. The light bulb turned on. James's face lit up. "It works! Dad, it works!" Spencer smiled. "You did it. You built a working solar panel. We did it. You helped me the whole time. You did all the hard work. I just handed you the tools." James looked at Spencer. His green eyes were serious. "You stayed the whole time. That is what matters." In March, Emma asked Spencer to come to her piano lesson. Not the recital. The actual lesson with her teacher. Spencer sat in the back of the practice room. Emma's teacher was a woman in her 60s named Mrs. Chen. She was strict, but patient. Mrs. Chen said, "Emma, your tempo is too fast in this section. Slow down. Feel each note." Emma tried again. She played slower. Mrs. Chen nodded. "Better. But watch your left hand. You are hitting the wrong key in measure 12. Emma practiced the same section 10 times. She never got frustrated. She never complained. She just kept trying. Finally, she played it perfectly. Mrs. Chen smiled. "Excellent. That is how you practice. You fix the mistake through repetition." After the lesson, Spencer told Emma, "You are very patient. When your teacher corrected you, you did not get upset. You just kept trying." Emma said, "Mommy taught me that mistakes are how we learn. If I get upset about mistakes, I will never get better." Spencer thought about that. "Your mother is a wise person." "I know, she is the best mommy in the world." Spring turned into summer. Summer turned into fall. Fall turned into winter again. 2 full years passed since Spencer first met his children in the park. He went to every event, every recital, every art show, every science fair, every soccer game, every school play. He did not miss anything. Not once. In November, Spencer went to James's school for a robotics demonstration. James built a robot that could move objects. After the demonstration, Spencer waited outside the classroom. James came out with his robot under his arm. "That was amazing," Spencer said. "Your robot moved 3 different objects perfectly. I have been working on it for 4 months. It shows. You did great." They walked to the car together. James said, "Dad, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Why did you not want to be our father at first?" Spencer stopped walking. The question hit him hard. James looked up at him, waiting for an answer. Spencer knelt down so they were eye level. "I did not know you existed, James. If I had known, I would have been there. But that is only part of the truth. The whole truth is that 7 years ago, I was not a good person. I was weak. I let other people make my decisions for me. Even if I had known about you, I probably would have failed you back then. I am not proud of that, but I am trying to be better now. I am trying to be the father you deserve." James thought about this. Then he said, "You are a good father now. You come to everything. You help me with homework. You teach me things. That is what matters." Spencer hugged his son. "Thank you for giving me a second chance." That same month, Spencer went to Lydia's apartment for dinner. It was a regular Tuesday night. He came over twice a week now for dinner. The children finished eating and went to their rooms to do homework. Spencer helped Lydia clean the kitchen. While they washed dishes, Lydia said, "I have been seeing someone." Spencer's hands stopped moving. He continued washing the plate in his hands. "Okay. His name is Marcus. He is a musician, a violinist. We met at a performance 3 months ago." "Are you happy?" "I think so. It is still new, but he is kind. He makes me laugh. The kids have not met him yet. I wanted to wait and see if it gets serious first." Spencer dried the plate. His chest hurt, but he kept his voice steady. "If it gets serious and you want him to meet the kids, I understand. You deserve to be happy, Lydia." Lydia looked at him. "You really mean that?" "Yes. I destroyed what we had 7 years ago. I do not expect you to stay alone forever. You have every right to build a life with someone else. Thank you for understanding." 2 weeks later, Spencer was at one of James's soccer games. He sat in the bleachers watching James play. Lydia arrived late. She was not alone. A man walked beside her. He was tall with dark skin and short hair. He wore jeans and a sweater. This must be Marcus. They sat down near Spencer, but not next to him. Spencer watched the game. At halftime, Lydia walked over. "Spencer, this is Marcus. Marcus, this is Spencer, the father of my children." Marcus held out his hand. Spencer shook it. "Nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you too. Lydia talks about you. She says you show up for everything." "I try." They did not talk much after that. The game continued. James's team won. After the game, Marcus stayed with Lydia. Spencer congratulated James on the win and left. Seeing Lydia with another man hurt. But Spencer meant what he said. Lydia deserved happiness. Spencer lost his chance with her 7 years ago. That door was closed forever. In December, Lydia called Spencer. "The kids want you to come to Christmas dinner at my apartment. Marcus will be there too. He is meeting the kids for the first time. Is that okay?" Spencer hesitated. Spending Christmas with Lydia's new boyfriend would be hard. But the children wanted him there. That was what mattered. "Yes, I will be there. What time?" 6 in the evening on December 25th. Christmas arrived. Spencer drove to New York. He brought presents for the children. Books for Emma. Art supplies for Sophia. A science kit for James. He parked outside Lydia's building and walked up to the 4th floor. He knocked on the door. Emma opened it. "Dad, you came! Merry Christmas!" "Merry Christmas, Emma!" Spencer walked inside. Sophia ran over and hugged him. James waved from the couch. Marcus sat on the couch next to James. He stood up when Spencer entered. They shook hands again. "Good to see you," Marcus said. "You too." They ate dinner together. Turkey, mashed potatoes, rolls. The children talked about their Christmas presents. Emma got a new piano book. Sophia got a professional paint set. James got a telescope. They were excited and happy. Marcus was polite and quiet. He did not try to act like the children's father. He just listened and smiled. After dinner, James asked Spencer to read a book. "The one about space. I want to use my telescope tonight, and I need to know which planets to look for." Spencer followed James to his bedroom. He sat on the bed and started reading. Emma came in and sat next to him. Then Sophia came in and sat on his other side. Spencer read about planets and stars and galaxies. The children leaned against him, warm and comfortable and safe. Spencer looked up and saw Lydia standing in the doorway. Marcus stood next to her. They watched Spencer reading to the children. Lydia smiled. It was a real smile. Not cold or guarded. She looked happy. Marcus put his arm around her shoulders. She leaned into him. Spencer felt a pain in his chest. But he kept reading. This was his life now. He would never have Lydia back. She would build a life with someone else. But Spencer had his children. They called him Dad. They wanted him at Christmas. They leaned against him while he read. That was enough. It had to be enough. Spencer finished reading the book about space. The children were excited to use the telescope. James ran to get it from his room. Emma and Sophia followed him. They all went to the window to look at the night sky. Spencer stood up and walked to the living room. Lydia and Marcus sat on the couch. Lydia said, "Thank you for coming tonight. I know it was not easy. The kids wanted me here. That is all that matters." Marcus spoke. "You are doing a good thing, being present for them. Not all fathers do that." Spencer nodded. He did not stay much longer. He said goodbye to the children and left. The drive back to Boston felt long and quiet. But Spencer was okay. This was his life now. Lydia would never be his partner again. But he was a father to his children. He earned that role. He would protect it forever. 3 more years passed. Spencer's life changed completely. He left his family's investment firm. He started his own business, a small consulting company that helped nonprofit organizations with financial planning. He worked with groups that supported single parents and children's education programs. His work felt meaningful. He made less money than before, but he did not care. Money was not what made him happy anymore. Spencer never spoke to his mother again. Victoria tried to contact him a few times in the first year. She sent letters. She called. Spencer ignored everything. After the first year, she stopped trying. Victoria lived alone in her big mansion in Cambridge. She had lost her son forever. Her control over him was gone. Spencer felt sad about this sometimes, but he knew it was necessary. Victoria would never accept his children. She would never see them as worthy of the Ashworth name. Spencer would not let his children near someone who thought they were less than. Caroline remarried. She moved to California with her new husband. She sent Spencer a message 1 year after their divorce. "I am happy now. Thank you for letting me go. I hope you found what you were looking for." Spencer wrote back, "I am happy too. I found my children. That is all I needed." Lydia's relationship with Marcus became serious. After 2 years, Marcus moved into Lydia's apartment. The children liked him. He was kind to them. He helped with homework. He went to some of their events. But he never tried to replace Spencer. He understood his role. He was Lydia's partner. Spencer was the children's father. Those were two different things. Spencer went to New York 3 times per week now. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. He had dinner with the children. He helped with homework. He read bedtime stories. He was part of their daily routine. They called him every night before bed when he was in Boston. They told him about their day, their problems, their victories. Spencer listened to everything. Emma was now 10 years old. She was an exceptional pianist. She performed at concert halls around New York. She talked about going to a music conservatory when she was older. Spencer went to every single performance. He sat in the audience and watched his daughter play music that made people cry. She had Lydia's talent. Spencer was so proud of her. Sophia was an artist. Her paintings won awards at school competitions. Her art teacher said she had rare talent. She wanted to study art in Paris someday. Spencer went to every art show. He bought frames for her best paintings and hung them in his apartment in Boston. James was a scientist. He loved math and robotics and physics. His teachers recommended he skip a grade. Lydia and Spencer discussed it with him. James decided to stay with his current grade. He said, "I do not want to leave my friends. I can study advanced topics on my own." Spencer helped him with advanced math problems in the evenings. They worked together on science projects. James wanted to be an engineer someday. Spencer believed he would do it. In May, 3 full years after Spencer first met his children, Emma had a big piano performance. She was playing at Carnegie Hall in Manhattan. It was a youth competition. The best young pianists in America competed. Emma was one of them. Spencer arrived at Carnegie Hall 2 hours early. He could not risk being late. He sat in his seat and waited. Lydia arrived with Marcus, Sophia, and James. They sat a few rows ahead of Spencer. Spencer did not mind. This was Emma's night. Where people sat did not matter. The competition started. 20 young pianists performed. Each one was talented. But when Emma walked onto the stage, Spencer stopped breathing. She wore a long, black dress. Her brown hair was pulled back. She looked so grown up. She sat at the grand piano. She put her hands on the keys. She took a deep breath. Then she played. The music was Chopin, a difficult piece. Emma's fingers moved across the keys with perfect precision. The music filled the enormous hall. Spencer watched every movement, every note. His daughter was playing at Carnegie Hall, the same girl he did not know existed 3 years ago. Now she was playing in one of the most famous concert halls in the world. Emma finished. The audience exploded with applause. People stood up. Emma took a bow. She looked into the audience. She found Spencer. She smiled directly at him. Spencer smiled back. Tears ran down his face. But he did not care. Emma did not win first place. She won second place. But she did not look disappointed. After the ceremony, the family met outside the hall. Emma ran to Spencer and hugged him. "Did you see? I played at Carnegie Hall. You were amazing. I am so proud of you. I made one tiny mistake in measure 43, but I recovered quickly. I did not hear any mistake. You were perfect." James said, "Emma is going to be famous someday. Then we can say we knew her when she was young." Sophia laughed. "We will always know her. She is our sister." They went to dinner together, all 6 of them. Spencer, Lydia, Marcus, Emma, Sophia, and James. They ate at an Italian restaurant. They talked and laughed. They celebrated Emma's performance. Marcus told stories about his own performances as a violinist. The children asked questions. Everyone was comfortable. This was their family. Not traditional, but real. After dinner, they walked through the streets of Manhattan together. It was a warm evening in May. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink. They walked to Central Park. The children ran ahead. They found an open area with grass. They started playing. Emma chased Sophia. James kicked a soccer ball. Spencer and Lydia walked to a bench near the grass. They sat down. Marcus walked with them but gave them space. He understood this moment was between Spencer and Lydia. He went to play with the children. Spencer and Lydia sat in silence for a few minutes. They watched their children play. Then Lydia spoke. "You kept your promise." Spencer looked at her. "What promise?" "3 years ago, you said you would never leave them. You kept your word. You showed up for everything. You never missed one event. Not one." "That was the easiest promise I ever made." Lydia smiled. "The kids love you. They trust you completely. That is something I did not think would ever happen. But you earned it. Thank you for giving me the chance to earn it. You gave yourself the chance. You did the work. You changed who you were. That is not easy." Spencer watched James kick the soccer ball to Marcus. Marcus kicked it back. Emma and Sophia were sitting on the grass, making flower chains. "I lost you forever. I know that. I made choices 7 years ago that destroyed what we had. I will never get you back." "No, you will not. But I gained something more important. I gained my children. I became the father they deserve. That is enough. It has to be enough." Lydia looked at Spencer. Her dark brown eyes were warm. "You are a good father, Spencer. I did not think I would ever say that. But it is true. The kids are better because you are in their lives. I am better because they are in my life." They sat in silence again. The sun continued to set. The sky turned from orange to purple. The children played and laughed. Spencer thought about the man he was 3 years ago. That man sat at a charity gala wearing an expensive tuxedo. That man was married to a woman he did not love. That man worked at a job that meant nothing. That man had everything and nothing at the same time. Spencer was not that man anymore. He wore jeans and a simple shirt now. He drove a regular car. He lived in a small apartment. He worked at a job that helped people. He had less money, less status, less of everything that used to define him. But he was happy, truly happy, for the first time in his entire life. James ran over to the bench. "Dad, come play with us." Spencer stood up. "What are we playing?" "Soccer. Me and Marcus against you and the girls." Spencer walked onto the grass. Emma and Sophia ran over. They formed a team. They played soccer in Central Park as the sun set. Spencer was terrible at soccer. He had never played sports as a child, but his children did not care. They laughed when he missed the ball. They cheered when he accidentally scored a goal. They were having fun. That was all that mattered. After an hour, everyone was tired. They sat on the grass together. Marcus lay on his back looking at the sky. Lydia sat next to him. Emma sat next to Spencer. Sophia sat on his other side. James sat in front of him. They talked about nothing important, what they would have for breakfast tomorrow, what movie they should watch next weekend. Small, ordinary things. Spencer realized this was what happiness looked like. Not a big house, not expensive things, not status or reputation. Just this. His children sitting with him on the grass, their mother sitting nearby. The knowledge that he earned his place here, that he showed up every day, that he took responsibility. that he became someone his children could respect. The sky turned dark. Stars appeared. James said, "We should go home. I have school tomorrow." They walked back through Central Park together. Spencer walked beside his children. Emma held his hand. Sophia held his other hand. James walked in front, talking to Marcus about robotics. Lydia walked beside them all. They were not a traditional family. Spencer and Lydia were not together. Lydia had a partner, but they were still a family. A real family built on trust and consistency and love. Spencer walked them to Lydia's apartment building. He said goodbye to everyone. Emma hugged him. Sophia hugged him. James said, "See you Wednesday for dinner, Dad." "I will be here." Spencer drove back to Boston. The drive took 4 hours. He arrived at his apartment at midnight. He sat on his couch and thought about the day. Emma playing at Carnegie Hall. Dinner with his family. Playing soccer in Central Park. Sitting on the grass, watching the sunset. These were the best moments of his life. Spencer had learned something important over the past 3 years. Love is not about possession. Love is not about getting what you want. Love is about sacrifice, about showing up even when it is hard, about taking responsibility even when it is uncomfortable, about putting someone else's needs above your own. Spencer lost Lydia's love forever, but he gained something he could never lose: his children's trust, their respect, their love. He was their father, not because biology said so, but because he showed up. He kept his promises. He proved through his actions that he would never leave them again. Spencer looked at his calendar. Wednesday was 2 days away. Dinner at Lydia's apartment. Friday was 4 days away. James's science fair. Next week, Sophia had an art show. The week after, Emma had a piano recital. Spencer's calendar was full of his children's events, full of moments he would never miss, full of the life he chose, the life he earned. Spencer went to bed that night knowing he made the right choice. 3 years ago, he stood up to his mother. He cut ties with his family's money and status. He chose his children over comfort. It was the hardest thing he ever did, but it was also the best thing he ever did. Spencer was not perfect. He still made mistakes. He still had bad days, but he showed up. Every single day. He was present. He was consistent. He was the father his children deserved. And that was enough. That was everything. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen